welcome to TCCA, where we have done this 10 years. Can you believe it? 10 years. So this is the 10th annual, and here we go again. But guess what? Now that we're 10 years, even though we had COVID happen, it was great because now you're able to sit from the comfort of your home and get virtual education, professional development right at home. So thank you so much for tuning in with TCCA. So today we have a close friend because we have been working together now. Uh, Jim is here to share tech tools. Um, hey, we said that just a few minutes ago that normally technology people, we know that technology goes out, but we have been extremely successful. I'm grateful, and I am going to cut out of here and let you do your thing, Jim. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm coming to you from Fort Worth, Texas. Jim Ekrut, education was my second career. I spent 10 years in the elementary classroom and then 6 years in educational technology in Fort Worth ISD. I retired recently, and I'm a contract trainer part-time for NCCE, the Northwest Council for Computer Education. And they do mostly Microsoft training, but are expanding into Google trainings around the country. So anyway, it's great to be here with you today. And what I want to talk with you about is online and personalized learning through Microsoft Immersive Reader. Microsoft has a series of learning tools, and Immersive Reader is a wonderful tool that is part of the Microsoft Learning Tools suite. Whether it's just coincidence or providentially, Heather, who is operating the technical side of this cast, has a senior son who uses Immersive Reader on a daily basis. So we're very excited to be part of this, and let's get right into it. The Immersive Reader, a bunch of this is borrowed from Mike Paulson, who's Principal Product Manager for Microsoft, a presentation that he did specifically on technology and inclusion. And I've modified kind of including and inserting some other items about it. But you have a link in the chat to this presentation so you can download and view it along with the links at your leisure. But again, it's great to be here, and let's go right in. Also in the presentation is the link to the OneNote. OneNote sometimes is a little tricky with sharing, but it sits there and it's not with an expiration date. And this is just a sample of the action of Immersive Reader borrowed from Andy Knuvin, and you see his Twitter handle. The Immersive Reader is designed to make learning through reading more accessible to students. There are a lot of features in it. We're going to talk with you today. This is more of a demonstration than what would typically be a regular training in which it would be more participatory. You're welcome to open the presentation and follow as you wish. And please do put your questions in the chat as it mentions. We'll get to your questions. And hopefully, if I don't have the answer's in the room. I love that phrase and I appreciate it. In a diverse classroom, we have a lot of teachers here, 73%, where student reading levels span 4 or more grade levels. We have more than half English as second language learners. And I worked my last campus assignment in the classroom. I was in a school that was more than 95% Hispanic, and the majority of those were English language learners. So we had more ESL or ELL classes than we had regular ed classes. So certainly an inclusive classroom. Today we're talking about online and personalized learning from the standpoint of reading. Now, Immersive Reader is a free tool built into many popular platforms you see here. Word, OneNote, Outlook, Office Lens, which is a great app I want to share with you today. Microsoft Teams, Forms, Flipgrid, which may be added into Teams, and the Microsoft Edge browser, and also Minecraft and other apps. And I'm going to switch gears here for just a moment for a short video. This is of the using Immersive Reader, some students sharing their experiences using Immersive Reader.
The true purpose of education is to create possibility.
It was a little hard for me. People laugh whenever I read sometimes.
Well, they knew how to read, and I didn't. I will never be good at reading. I will probably be held back again. It highlights the words to know where I am.
When it's reading, I see spaces between the words, and it's easy to focus on.
The first time I actually could read that book, I was proud of myself.
I was very proud of myself.
Good job, Joey.
When technology and education come together, possibility becomes reality.
I want to read every book in here.
All right. Okay. That's an amazing video. And I have told Heather that whenever she wants to, she can jump in and talk about how her son finds a lot of value in using Immersive Reader.
I'll jump in right now. It's really hard sometime on the parent side, even being in education, to have a son that there's something wrong, but you don't know exactly what it is. And then to really look more so to finding that particular teacher that's going to take interest to find out exactly what it is. After going through all the tests, he was dyslexic and is dyslexic, and used that particular tool to highlight words, grow his vocabulary that is, much better than mine. And now he is writing plays and writing books, and he loves writing. And this was a kid that would come feeling just like those kids in that video, completely destroyed. Like, Mom, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I didn't know the tools to give it to him. But this is a way that technology has come in and truly impacted him to where he's a senior now, and he knows that he loves to write. He's the best writer in the home. It's amazing. Like, he's really, really, his vocabulary. He reads books on top of books, all kinds of books. Interests that I wouldn't even dare to think about, but because of a tool similar to that, exactly the same, he's been able to be extremely successful.
Well, a number of famous people certainly have struggled with the same issue. I know Jay Leno talks about it, and I don't know how quickly he was diagnosed growing up, but he talked about what a struggle it was in his school. His mom just said, "You're just going to have to work that much harder." And, at that time, he's my age, which we'll just say I qualify for Medicare, that he there probably wasn't nearly as much available as far as diagnostic tools or therapies or tools, or certainly nothing like this to help. But it's not only for people who are dyslexic. People can have other vision impairments, people who have language barriers that they're working to conquer. So I want to go through some of these Microsoft apps and how Immersive Reader applies to the different ones. Now, I'm using right now OneNote for Windows 10. There are at least 3 versions of OneNote. There's the OneNote with Microsoft 365, the online tabs. There's Microsoft OneNote 2016, which is the older style downloaded software that would have come with an Office purchase. And then there's OneNote for Windows 10, which is an app that comes with all Windows 10. And that's the one that I'm using today. Immersive Reader is and I've put these demos in. This is under the View tab. When you click View, you can click and go to Immersive Reader. And Immersive Reader then will allow you to go through. Let me see. I'm looking at this. And it's not showing me. Let me pop up here. I had that available. Okay. We'll get to it one way or another. Here we go. Immersive Reader. You see that little icon, the book icon with a speaker. And I click on Immersive Reader. And it converts the page to a readable page online. And here is the demo. It gives me tips here. And in this case, I can go to, well, because of the different tabs, I'm not going to be able to play the video. Let's go that way. This, this, that.
Outlook, Office Lens, Microsoft Teams, Forms, Flipgrid.
No particulars. Okay. I can change the text size to make it more legible. It defaults to decreasing spacing because this would be a I can also change the fonts to make it more readable. Sometimes fonts with correct size, but it's not very favored for all kinds of things. And also, I can change, if it can help students the difficulty, the visibility, I can change the background, the contrast, and more colors are available. And I can go back to the original if I choose. Here, I can break it up into syllables. The syllable, you notice it is broken into syllables, and I can also choose the vowels. Verbs. I can also show variables for those. So here I have the opportunity to help students have scaffolding for understanding the different parts of speech, also to help them with syllabification, to teach and to support their learning in these ways. Now, the last section has to do with there's learning focus to help students be able to see and focus on just a line time, and those are depending on the text and the version that you're using. They're available for 1 line, 3 line, or 5 lines. And also the picture dictionary. When the picture dictionary turned on, when I choose browser, it gives us, and it also allows me to
Browser.
pronounce, to hear the pronunciation of the word. But it can be translating into different languages. Here, the one that we use in Fort Worth most is Spanish in Mexico. Now, if I click on this word again, I have browser and then explorador, and it will pronounce it for me.
Explorador.
But also, I can change that translation to document, and then I have the entire document translated into Spanish. Of course, here, some of these the terms, the labels are not going to be translatable because they're products.
Education Edition y el navegador Edge, que implementan técnicas probadas para mejorar la lectura y la escritura.
And of course, it's not only Spanish. It has many languages. Now, not all of them are done in Immersive Reader as far as read aloud, but many of them are. So let's go to Japanese, for example. I change that document.
マイクロソフトの没入型リーダーは、ワード、OneNote、Outlook、Office Lens、 マイクロソフトチームズ、フォーム、フリップグリッド、マインクラフト教育版。
All right. So again, now also notice right here at the top, I can just click original and it goes back to English, which is the original text. If I switch over, it goes back to the language to which I've translated. So again, this is in OneNote by choosing the View tab, and this is OneNote Online, and then by clicking Immersive Reader. So that's one function in Microsoft Word. It also works in Microsoft Forms. If you have a formative assessment or assessment of some kind, you can simply go to, let's see, I'm going to switch now and go back to desktop sharing so I can move from tab to tab. All right. And I'm going to go to now I'm using, for this purpose, using the Edge browser because it offers more features. But right here, when I open this Microsoft form, I click on the three dots, enable Immersive Reader. And so then it will open up the features for Immersive Reader. You notice right here, the book icon with the speaker, and then we'll open it. Now, because I'm in the screen share instead of the Chrome tab share, it's not going to give you the audio. But again, it has the similar features that it had in OneNote, but in Microsoft Forms. If you have students who need assistance with reading some of the vocabulary, I know when I tutored math, and of course the students have to learn a certain amount of math vocabulary for statewide testing, but my issue with my fifth graders was not that they didn't know the math. They were good. They just didn't know enough of the English words. So having something like this along the way to scaffold and help get them up to speed. And my little quiz here, the thing is you don't pay anything extra for Immersive Reader. It's a free tool that's built into these apps. Now, going back into we have a Microsoft Forms, Immersive Reader, and now Office Lens. And Office Lens is really a remarkable tool that is phone or tablet based. And because it would be a little awkward to try to share my phone or tablet with you along with the computer and along with the other Chrome tab and audio, here's the Office Lens app. And Heather, let me ask, are there any questions, anything so far? Are we good to go, or do we need to stop for a moment and address something?
No, initially we were having just a bit of issues with the audio, but we're good now. But I'd like to add, Office Lens has really helped me. I have it as an app on my phone, and many times, we're good for shopping, but we don't always keep our receipts. And if you're a business owner, or if you need to keep track of things that you need to document, especially those of us that are educators as we spend money and we want to use it as a tax write-off, I use that Office Lens and I take pictures, and it categorizes my pictures immediately and put them where I have everything I need when it's time to do my taxes. That's how it's helped me.
Oh, it's great. And I with the contract training that I'm doing now, keeping records, keeping expenses, but I use it for so many things, either personal or I created an online recipe book in OneNote for my wife.
Wow.
It has recipes from her mom and then her and I don't, maybe even her grandmother. But now we're able to share it with our daughters.
Yep.
And it's just a way to make what used to be like a physical scrapbook or a physical notebook. It makes it digital and shareable and so anyway, this is just a demonstration. I just captured some screenshots. Here's
Awesome.
Take the Office Lens app where it's available, and I just took a picture of the screen on my computer with the Office Lens app. And you notice how it's automatically, you can clip it, crop it to shape it the way you need to, and then it asks you to confirm that this is really the picture you want. And then there's the picture. And it allows a lot of editing kinds of things. I can add more pictures. I can filter, crop, rotate. I can ink. I can write on it, or I can type text on it. And then it says, where do you want this to go? And so I can, up there where it has the date and Office Lens, I can retitle it, rename it, and then I can send it to a lot of different places. And even on my phone, I can use Immersive Reader right on my phone through Office Lens, so that students can take a picture of text. You can take a picture of text and have it read to you in your language or other languages. So it's a really, really handy. Again, another free app from Microsoft. Now, what will it capture? We'll say, for example, this Texas Monthly cover. I just took a picture of a magazine cover, and it's what you'll notice is that it reads from left to right and up, down. So if you have a magazine cover, rather than what we've learned from the protesters, it's what we've learned from Richard Linklater, isn't the dizzying art of the protesters. So with covers, you have to be a little bit more careful. But let's here's a page again out of the same magazine. It featured Willie Nelson and and text. And let's see, I bet we have time to do this. Let me switch and go to let's see, I need to get this up here, and then I need to get this. And see if this will share the Chrome tab and read. So here I am, Immersive Reader. It takes that magazine page, and right here, we'll see if the audio
From the
come
editor
through.
Spong lore.33 Willie Nelson and John Spong on Willie's bus after a concert in Austin on October 4th.
Now, if you notice right here, the word is uring. And if we go back, the reason is because the D is in a different font apart from the column text. So it will read an amazing amount. You may have to click and tell it where you want it to start reading in your text, but it will absolutely read. And that's an exciting thing to do in your as you're using resources with your students. So if we go down to the Edge browser, in the Edge browser, you will have certain websites, not every website, but certain websites that will automatically load with Immersive Reader. So let me go here to a website. And if you notice, this icon is right here for Immersive Reader. When I click, it reformats the entire page. You notice? Now, here I have text preferences. I can change the spacing. I can change the theme. I can go here to the grammar tools and I can highlight nouns. I can show the syllables. I can show the labels of the nouns. And over here, I can choose a language. And this time I'm just going to choose Arabic and translate the entire page. And there it is. And whereas right now you won't be able to hear it, it will start. Now it's going to start up here at the top of the page. But when I click read aloud, okay. Now, if you notice for this one, it's because Arabic is not yet included in read aloud, it will translate it, but it won't read it aloud. The odd part of it is that it was only reading the Arabic numerals that made the same sense as in, or the same translation as in English. The voice options, interestingly, all a number of different voice options, but all they will do is read that same text English with an accent from that country. I'm not sure how that happened. It is kind of a fun thing to play, but it's not going to read aloud that text for your students. Now, for example, in the Edge browser, you notice there's no immersive reader available. But if you will press and hold down Shift and Control, so Control Shift and the letter U, you will get a read aloud. And while you are not hearing it, you can see that it's reading from the page. And that is one thing. Not all websites are available in Immersive Reader to translate and have the different grammar parts. But most all the websites in the latest Edge browser are available for read aloud in the languages and the formats that they're created. And I would recommend highly to you this page, which I believe is also linked in the OneNote, which is part of the presentation. And that's all about the Immersive Reader, which Mike Tolfson and a partner put together. Their videos, their links, some of the information in the PowerPoint comes from this, and also the availability. It's read aloud is across all these different apps from OneNote, Word, Outlook, and other. Spacing and font size is across most, but you'll notice that they're really focusing on the Windows 10 app and the online, in essence, the Microsoft 365 online app. So where Windows 10 and online are the primary, they also are very strong with Apple devices, whether it's Mac or iPads, or a lot of ones that are available. One that I didn't cover really today is Dictate, and that is just in your OneNote or your other item, how you can actually just speak, and it will turn it into text for you. So it's another accommodation, another access to make learning online and personalized. So those the Edge browser. Now Flipgrid. Flipgrid also makes availability to have items read to you in the Flipgrid process. So if I go here to Flipgrid test, and this is just a very brief, simple Flipgrid that I created, you'll notice the Immersive Reader icon is right there. And when I click Immersive Reader, it will read the topic to the students before they respond with their recording. So there's a question. And again, it has the option of different languages, different font sizes and backgrounds and so forth for that. Now, also in Microsoft Teams, there's several things, not everything, but in Microsoft Teams, both the free app and the paid, the enterprise version, when teachers or students post, you click the three dots to the right, which are the more options, and Immersive Reader is a part of those options. So in Microsoft Teams, it will read whatever post is done. And again, it does have options, the Immersive Reader options as part of the reading. It will also read Word documents. Microsoft Teams, depending on the version, the free version does not have all the features of the paid version. Your enterprise, like your district, is Microsoft 365 subscriber. That's a different level, but even the free version will do a lot of things. It's more limited with OneNote and Office Lens, but a very high level participation and feature availability. So again, this is under View in Immersive Reader, and then the different kinds of things that you know. Now, if you want to differentiate, you can come up with different in OneNote, different groups. Also, excuse me, in Microsoft Teams, you can make private channels so that you can accommodate personalized learning for your different learning groups. Those private channels in Microsoft Teams are only accessible by the the students you assign, the students you connect to those private channels. And one of the nice features in that is Math Assistant. We're talking about online and personalized learning. That, for example, if I write in 8x plus 14 is equals 46, and they just typed it on the OneNote page, and I want to highlight it, I'm under Draw, and I click Math, then it opens the Math column, and then it allows me to choose options. I can solve for X. I can also graph. But one thing that's nice, especially for teachers in solving, you may notice it says also generate a practice quiz. And so it will, and also here it says show steps. If I generate a practice quiz, it will create a Microsoft form with the number of items that I want and problems or algorithms that are similar to this 8x plus 14 equals 46. So once you're in your Microsoft account, you set that up and it will generate a practice quiz, which is great for students to have practice for a not necessarily for assessment, but just for them to build their skills on that particular type of problem or algorithm. Now, also in Microsoft OneNote, I just copied some pages out of the text. This is an online text. And if I go to View into Immersive Reader, then it will read that math page to me right from taking a picture. This is, again, why I use Office Lens primarily to take the images. It will read PDFs, but my best success has been found with the Office Lens app. Right. And as I mentioned, the Teams private channels that allow you to very much individualize, either for one student or that you can have up to 30 private channels in your Microsoft team. So it can be very helpful. Now let's go back into the PowerPoint. Give it a moment to load. The Microsoft Immersive Reader, part of the learning tools, very amazing tool. Again, this is all provided for free. You've seen there are some limitations, but there are a lot of availabilities, a lot of access. So we can see that it can be used for a lot of applications. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So here's a class, an immersive reader, and students and immersive are very helpful in these. Now, we notice that as Microsoft Immersive Reader is used in classrooms, that the reading speeds are increasing. And I apologize for the slow loading. That we can also compare. Let me get, it seems to be having a little bit more trouble. Can compare with, I guess you'd say, a control group, and then those who are using Immersive Reader. But their dyslexia foundations have been working very hard to make these things available to students. And here's a teacher testimony. I just want to let you know that today a mom spoke to me and she started crying. Her son was finally able to read on his own thanks to the Immersive Reader. I'm currently changing the lives of so many children. And it can be, as you notice in the Immersive Reader, you can highlight just a word. So students who are ELLs or students who have other issues with vocabulary or particular words reading, they can simply highlight a word and not have it read aloud to them, but just have it read selected vocabulary, selected words. Um, Again, growth in reading comprehension. Uh, the blue is learning tools, and the gold or orange is historical. And notice the increase in learning based on including learning tools. And it's empowering, making students more independent. They can apply learning tools on their own. And for example, with the math assistant I mentioned to you, you go, oh my goodness, now if I assign anything to students, they will automatically be able to just click on math assistant and solve it for them. Well, fortunately, that's an admin control that you determine. You can turn it on or off as you need to allow more of a summative assessment or to help them just with daily learning as formative assessment and uh, allow them that scaffolding. It helps move students up. There's a dyslexia awareness curriculum, and also this is part of the links are part of the presentation made by Dyslexia. Has partnered with Microsoft and is doing a lot of excellent work there. And then there are different updates. An immersive reader for third parties. This is from Georgia. For LMS, here's part of Canvas. An immersive reader is being included in more kinds of, and here, tell your favorite ed tech app or publisher. All these different ones. Here's some. They're suggesting some they're using, and here are some new apps integrating immersive reader. Vocabulary. Have a former colleague who is working with Nearpod and vocabulary. Help a Bird, Kid Block, It's Learning, Pear Deck. Some of my colleagues yesterday had a long Pear Deck training, and I'm noticing that Pear Deck can be paired with PowerPoint. It also can be paired with Google Slides, but with PowerPoint, again, Immersive Reader is available to integrate interactive slides right along with your PowerPoint presentation. So, Heather Ripper, there are some things we need to go back to. This is basically the end. I'm glad to talk about some more if there's anything to explain more or go back to a part, but this is pretty much it for today.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I think that it's been extremely informative, and especially for those campuses or districts that use Microsoft 365 and OneNote. I know certain districts are Google districts or they're, Microsoft districts, but the fact that the math component was extremely interesting to take that component with that math assistant was really impressive. And I'm glad that I got that information, even though I'm a math brain. But that would really help my son. Now that I see that, that's really good. I really appreciate you sharing that.
It will also work with much more advanced math, and it'll do more
Yeah.
advanced graphing calculator even.
Well, I thank you so much for your time, and I want to make sure that I let everybody know. Thank you for tuning in to, I believe this was session 6,
Six,
7,
yeah.
6, one of these. Okay, so we're moving on down, but I definitely want to make sure that those that were in attendance are able to get that super secret password, as we were asked in the chat. And I'll go ahead and post that at this time. That super secret password is Empower, EMPOWER. Yes, it is case sensitive. Make sure you capitalize that first letter, EMPOWER. Empower. And I believe that this session speaks to that, where we are empowering students with that immersive reader to be stronger in reading, and especially with math, with that component that you shared. I'm grateful. It will help. So thank you so much for your time. Again, make sure you check out the last few sessions. Go ahead and register, jump in those sessions, as well as you want to make sure you get that super secret password. And we thank you so much, Jim, for your time on your Saturday to donate and that time to TCCA. Thank you so very much. Absolutely. All righty, you all. Wait. All right. Okay.
Thank you. Have a great day.